All right, I'm going to do a little experiment here. I got some new microphones, and I'm going to use the regular headphones microphone that I've been using on the first and the third, and I'm going to put in the middle on the second slide, I'm going to use the new microphone, and we'll see how it sounds compared to the one that I'm using right now and the one that I'll be using at the end. Okay, so this one says the polygons are similar. They're already telling us that they're similar. So we're going on that, and then now find the value of each variable. Well, since you can see that we have corresponding angles there, and just for fun, let's mark out that this angle is a shared angle, because you can see both figures, both small triangle and the big triangle have that. And of course, this and that are same angle as well, because it's by the third angle theorem. So if these angles are the same and this angle shared, these other remaining, the last angle has to be the same. Okay, so we know that they're similar because triangles that have three identical angles for both triangles will be similar, if not congruent. So now we can say, okay, let's pick a color and say this side is to this side, like this side is to the long side on the big triangle as this side, oops, not a fan of that color, as this side is to this side on the long triangle, as well as this side is to this. Now that purple one is the set that we actually know both of the values, and so that allows us to set it up. So let's say this, we've got from the small to big, for the green side, we've got y is to 6 as, and now on the pink side as small triangle x, big triangle 8 is as, and then on the purple, 5 is to 10. Okay? Now this is the extended ratio, but we could really just do any two at one time. And that's maybe the best way to do it in order to be able to solve it. We can say, for example, y over 6 is equal to 5 over 10. Then when we solve that out, we get 10 times y equals 6 times 5, or 10y equals 30. And then when we divide both sides by 10, we get y equals 3. So now we know what y is. And we can do the same thing again by saying, let's just take that and that without the green side. We don't need to compare the green side when we're doing this. And now we go 10 times x equals 8 times 5, or 10x equals 40. And when we divide both sides by 10, we get x equals 4. So now we found the variables. Shrink that down so we can see it all. We've got y equals 3, x equals 4. That's all you got to do. Okay, so here we are with the new microphone. Let's see how this sounds in relation to the first and the last slide. This is the second slide, number 19, and it tells us the polygons are still similar. So find the value of each variable. So what we want to do is we want to match corresponding sides, and really essentially if we already know that they're similar, then we can then just say, okay, now that we know that that side that runs between the angle or the vertex with the single angle mark to the one with the double is the same on that one as well. Okay, and then going all the way around, we could mark them all the way around. That one, oops, that one corresponds with that one, and so on. That corresponds with that, and finally this corresponds with this. Okay? So if it says find the value of each variable, we've got 3 variables. We're looking for the one pair that we know both of the actual values. And you can see that the purple side, 9/6, those are two numbers that we know. So we have actually a ratio for that. Okay? And what do we do for that? Let's go all the way around. And let's say, let's do the turquoise side, big to small. We've got 12 to the small corresponding side is x. And match with that. The green side, the big side is y. And the small side is 6. And what corresponds with that? This pink side, big side is z. Small side is 3.5. Now that's kind of the extended ratio, but we really want to break this into parts and set them each individually equal so that we can calculate it out. So here we could say first, we could say 9/6 equals 12/x and multiply it out. Okay, and we'll say then 9x equals, what is 12 times 6? 72. And then if we divided both sides by 9, we get x equals 8. And we'll box that. And we'll just keep doing it. We'll do that for, we got to keep using 9/6 or 9/6 because those are the numbers we have both of them for. Okay? And we did that for 12/y, the turquoise. Now we're going to do it for the green, y/6. And when we multiply the diagonals, you'll see something interesting here happening. Just to point it out, that 6 is to 6 as 9 is to, yeah, you guessed it, it's going to be 9. But let's multiply it just to see anyway. We get 6y equals 54. And if we divide both sides by 6, we get y equals 9. Yep. And then finally, we're going to start with 9/6. We're going to say that's equal to, and we're going to deal with this z over 3.5. And then multiply the diagonals. We get 6 times z is 6z equals 9 times 3.5. I'm going to actually calculate that up top here. I always put the one with more digits first because if I put this single digit number on the bottom, we just get a single line of numbers and we're done. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry the 4. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 4 is 31. And we need to put the decimal there. So we have 6z equals 31.5. And now actually we want to do that problem. Let's do it over here. 31.5 divided by 6 because that's what we need to do here to solve it down to z equals. How many times does 6 go into 31? It goes in 5 times, that's 30. Bring down the 1, 1 remaining, bring down the 5. 6 goes into 15. By the way, the decimal goes straight up. Twice, 6 times 2 is 12. 3, let's annex 0 and bring it down. And we get 6 goes into 30 5 times. That is 30. So then you get 5.25 for z. That's how you do it. 5. Okay, here we are back with my regular headphones microphone. I'm interested to see if you think that the sound quality went down in between from the first slide to the second slide and then back again. So we'll find that out later. But here we go. The polygons are similar. I'm going to bring this up a little bit and find the value of each variable. We're dealing with triangles, so as long as we know that the angles are all congruent, then we know that we're dealing with a similar triangle. But they already tell us that we are, or a similar pair of triangles. But that's going to correspond with that through the vertical angles theorem, also the third angles theorem, because we know the first two. So because we know this, we can then say, I'm going to just get that out of there, just pointing it out that you should know that. But what are we looking at here? Well, what we're looking at is we've got to match up which vertex goes with what in order to talk about which side goes with what. So I'm going to just color the sides in, and I'm going to say this side corresponds with that side, and this side corresponds with that side, and likewise this side corresponds with that side. If you're having trouble seeing that, you can go between the vertices that you know. Like we can see that this pink side here goes between that vertical angle and the one with the single angle mark. Vertical angle to single angle mark, vertical angle to single angle mark, those are both pink. Okay, vertical angle to double angle mark, vertex, vertical angle to double angle right there, and then single to double angle mark, single to double angle mark side. So those sides correspond. So now we can actually find the value of each. We're going to set it up as an extended ratio. So we're going to say the green, 15 is to 30, as the pink, y is to 37. And you can see that we're going small to big each time. Equals x to 25.5. And we really don't want to keep this as the extended ratio. We want to break it into pieces. So we will do it. We're really solving for two variables. So I'm going to say up here, 15 is to 30 as y is to 37, and then multiply them and see what we get. We get 30y equals 15 times 37. Let's do it over here. 15 times 37. 7 times 5, 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. 0 placeholder. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And we get 555. Neat. 555. We get that out of there. That was just a calculation that we did. Actually, let me rewrite that as well, just to make it neater. 5, 5, 5. And then we will divide both sides by 30. I can't do that in my head, so I'm going to do that down here. I'm going to say 555 divided by 30. 30 goes into 55 once. Get 25 left. 255, how many times does 30 go into that? 240 is the biggest multiple I can think of. That's 8 times. 3 times 8 is 24. So 8 times 30 is 240. And we get 15 left over. I'm going to put a decimal and a placeholder, or annex a 0 and bring it down. 3 goes into 150 5 times. That is 150. So we get 18.5. Y equals 18.5. Okay. We're dealing here with the cross products property. Hopefully you can see that. That times that. Oops. That times that equals that times that, right? So let's do it again. Now we found y, we're going to do it for x. And we need to go back and start with what we know, which is 15 is to 30, the green sides, equals the ratio x over 25.5. And when we multiply those through, we get 30x equals, now we have to figure out what is 15 times 25.5. I'm going to erase our calculations for over here to do that calculation. And we get, let's see, 15 times 25.5. So 25.5 times 15. 27, carry the 2, 5 times 2 is 10, 12, 0 placeholder, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2. Notice that the numbers here and here were from the first go around with multiplying by 5, so we don't actually add those on the next time around. And we get 5, 2, carry the 1, 8, 3, and how many numbers are behind a decimal in the answer? Or in the problem, we had 1 digit behind a decimal, so in our answer we're going to have one digit. So we get then 30x equals 382.5. And now I have to do this division. I have to do 30x divided by 3 equals 382.5. Sorry, divided by 30. And what do we get there? We get x equals, and I'm going to do this off on the side where I'm doing all my calculations. Let's see, we've got to do 382.5 divided by 30, and we get 30 goes into 38 once. Bring down the 2. 30 goes into 82 twice. That's 60. It's 22. Decimal goes straight up, and this 5 comes down. 30 goes into 225. What's the biggest multiple of 3? That's close to 22 and a half. That is 3 times 7 is 21. Sorry about that. I'll rewrite that. So 210 is 7 times. You get 115. Annex a 0, bring it down. How many times does 30 go into 150? It goes in 5 times exactly. And I'm running out of space here, but we'll call that 0. And you get x then is equal to 12.75. You're dealing with some calculations of weird numbers and things, but nothing too traumatic, hopefully. And if you wanted to see something fun, maybe you want to be done with this problem already, but I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to say, remember how we did just that, what I just erased there was this here, 382.5 divided by 30. Well, you can do this. Divided by 30, and you can say, okay, I'm going to make this actually 10 times smaller to make it be 3 instead of 30, and I'm going to make this 10 times smaller as well to make that be 38.5, or 38.25 rather. Okay, and then watch what happens. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 8 twice, decimal goes straight up, and as you can see, we're going to result in the same number. That's 2. 3 goes into 22 7 times is 21. Left with a 1, bring down the 5. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So if you wanted to, this is just a little math trick that's nothing to do with this type of problem, just generally how you're dividing. If you wanted to, you could make this 10 times smaller and it's still a whole number. And then you make this 10 times smaller and you still get the same number here as you would here. Just a little math trick there at the end. But I'm going to get that math out of the way to clean this problem up. That's how you do it. Hopefully you get all of that I just went over.